Bon dia, gente. This is Frederick from Pearls of Portugal. I'm getting asked very often how it is to be married to a Portuguese woman. So this is my personal and really my personal point of view. 10 things you should know when you're married to a Portuguese woman. Number one, dating. It's been a while because we're now together 18 years. No, married for 18 years, together for 20 years. So the dating part was almost 2 decades ago. Still, I remember them quite well. I think trying to understand the signals if a Portuguese woman likes you, it's like landing a jumbo jet on an aircraft carrier in rough sea and with foggy sight. You cannot really tell. They don't give you a lot of signals. Of course, a no is a no, but it's kind of hard to tell if she likes you or not. My wife always tells me, "Hey, I gave you a lot of signals," and I'm like, "Okay." My suggestion is, if you're interested in a Portuguese woman, try to be nice to her, and eventually you will find out if she likes you or not, but there's no clear way to know. Number two, when you marry a Portuguese woman, you will basically marry one and a half women. You will also marry the sogra. Portuguese have a very good relationship with your family, which is great. In normal cases, your wife will definitely also have good or normal relationship with her mother. And if that's the case, she will visit very often. She'll come over, especially if you have netos, grandchildren. They will talk a lot. So that's something you have to accept. There's a lot of interaction. Portuguese tend to do a lot of things together in the family. So that's something you should definitely consider when you marry a Portuguese woman. Number three, eating together. Food is in general very important in Portugal. People spend time eating, they enjoy eating, they spend more money for food than maybe other cultures. It's also, especially in family, a tradition maybe to eat on the weekend together, but also in the relationship it's very important to eat together, which I think it's even good, and your Portuguese wife will definitely pay attention to this, to have meals together. Number four, child education. Big topic. When you have children together, there you definitely see not the clash of the cultures, but differences. I'm from Germany. We are, I think, in general, a little bit more stricter with the children. So this is something you have to take into account. I think they're a little bit more lenient. When it comes to eating, it's different. They have to eat well. That's a religion. But still, when it comes to other things like curfews, sodas, watching TV and all these kinds of things. So that's something you have to take into account when you marry a Portuguese woman. Number five, going out. In Portugal, elder generations, and you can see this very often, dress up a lot. They have dinner or lunch. The man comes with a suit, sometimes even with a tie. The women dress a rather formal dress. This is taken very seriously. And it still prevails, I think, in society. You have to dress up properly, smart casual maybe, not overdressed, of course, but your Portuguese wife will definitely let you know when it's inappropriate, not just when you leave, but also when you're at the restaurant. So if you want a happy meal, dress appropriately when being married to a Portuguese wife. Number six, communication and with friends and family. Not while you are living in Portugal, but especially if you're not living in Portugal and maybe visiting the family, your Portuguese wife will make a lot of plans, which is not just having dinner with you, but it's meeting grandmother, it's meeting friends, it's meeting whoever is there. So if you come for a week or 2 weeks, the schedule will be done already. Enjoy it. You cannot stop it. You cannot interfere with it. It's normal, and I think it's also important to her. So enjoy your time, but yeah, that's something you should be aware when you are married to Portuguese. Number seven, football. Football is a religion in Portugal. There's some few people that don't like football, but especially if the national team plays, watching a game with a Portuguese can be quite difficult. Maybe that's something that is more true with my wife, but it's horror. You get insulted, you get cursed, especially when Germany plays Portugal. So that's something you should take into consideration. There's no marriage, no love when it comes to football, and that makes it unique being married to a Portuguese woman. Number 8, Emancipation. If you think Portugal is a South European country, great. Maybe, you can be a macho there. You can't really compare it to maybe other Southern European countries. Women are very emancipated, or I see them very emancipated. In many families, the person that is running the family, not just internally but also externally, are the women. So Portuguese are emancipated women. They are strong women. For them it's also normal to work, to raise children and so on, participating in decisions. So that's something I enjoy, but that's something you should consider because Portuguese women are very emancipated. Number 9, spending attitudes. In Portugal, people spend a lot of money in, I don't know how to call them, daily life enjoyable items like food. They like to buy great food. When they meet friends, they buy presents. When they are celebrating Christmas, they have one of the highest spending rates per person in Europe. So if you're looking for a person or a wife that doesn't go on vacation and doesn't eat so much just to buy a nice car because that's very important to you, you will be wrong. Of course, also Portuguese people and women and men like to have a nice car. But for example, cars I think are not so important in Portugal. They will spend money, and that's something you have to accept. That's the orientation. You will, I think, also benefit from it because it enriches life quality. But still, if your orientation is a little bit more, or your focus is a little bit more status oriented, this might not be so reflected in spending attitudes of a Portuguese wife. Number 10, being jealous of other women. I think it's not really a stereotype. I think Portuguese women, I don't have so many international comparisons, but I think they tend to be more jealous. They will, if you're talking about other women, maybe ex-girlfriends, if there's a colleague that you like, or I don't know, you have a lot of interaction with her on a professional basis. So your wife will definitely know it. I think it's something you have to address a little bit more delicately. If you don't want to find out what the word trombas means in Portuguese, which is, a phase of ignorance, being mad and emotionally away, let's say it like this, I don't know. You will have a nice life with your Portuguese wife. That's it from my side. 10 things you might consider when being married to a Portuguese woman. Of course, many of these are very subjective. You cannot generalize, and also don't want to create any stereotype. If you have different opinions, please leave a comment. If you think I missed something, please also leave them in the comments. If you have a question, send us a message, and don't forget, stop surviving, start living. See you in Portugal.